You guys, they're looting. Can I get a new pair of shoes too? I'm not doing shit. Yo, grab me a shirt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Man, let me just get a shirt up in here, dog. I'll watch your bike. Yeah, I got you, bro. Hey, whoa, bike. He's like, I need all that. What the fuck? He's got boxes, Jordans. Well, they're wild the fuck out here. The guys going to the cash register? Yeah, boys! I didn't know.
And this is not just a good gesture, this is something we need to make real. We need to bring down this empire once and for all. Alright. Burn it down! Burn it down! Burn it down! Burn it down! Make it great like 92! Make it great like 92! Patriot afraid of you! Make it great like 92! Make it great like 92! Patriot afraid of you! Patriot afraid of you!
Let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You guys, they're...
I agree, and I think we all agree. Folks, it's Monday, and it's time for Pop and Politics. Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about tonight. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Of course, it's Monday, so we have Tyrone Keys of Soldiers of Finance with us tonight. We have Nicole Bennett, of course.
Hey, y'all.
And Shelly E.
Hi.
All right. Before we light this fire, do your part. Tap that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. We're live here on YouTube and Rumble. And if you're on the go, catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that the mainstream media wishes didn't exist. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, folks, let's set it off. we have to get into again what occurred over the last several days in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is literally on fire. Union bosses are blocking ICE raids, rioters are torching self-driving cars. Gavin Newsom is crying state sovereignty while federal law is getting trampled in broad daylight. We're approaching another nightfall, so there's going to probably be more as we're on this broadcast. Over the weekend, anti-ICE mobs turned down downtown LA into a war zone, launching fireworks at cops, hurling boulders at their heads, shutting down highways, vandalizing everything in sight. But President Trump said enough is enough, and he dropped the hammer, deploying the National Guard to restore order. But instead of thanking him, Governor Hair Gel, aka Gavin Newsom, as President Trump calls him, is threatening to sue. Folks, we can't make this stuff up. So we want to dig right into it. Shelley, what are your thoughts on what we just saw?
Yeah, KJ, when I see things like this, I'm between crying because I'm so angry and then just pure anger. One type of person that I detest, okay, little bit below the murderers and pieces of shit, are people who are ungrateful. Ingrates is what we call them. Mm-hmm. I detest these people because they're just ungrateful. They have zero clue. Then they come here illegally, many of them. And for the ones that are here who are fighting with them, all they do is destroy. It brings a heart-wrenching tears to my eyes and anger to my mind and my spirit. D-Day was just last week. Our people who went to storm the beaches of Normandy over in Europe, they didn't fight for this. They didn't sacrifice for this, okay? But we have their children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren who have zero idea what it is to sacrifice, to make a living, to earn your keep, so to speak, to appreciate the opportunities that are here in the American soil. Do we have problems? Absolutely. But this is nothing short of anarchy and chaos. And this is exactly what the left wants to happen.
Yeah. I want to get you in on this, Nicole. Before we do, I want to acknowledge our super chatters. Folks, thank you all so much. We want to hear from you. What are you all feeling? I mean, as Shelley mentioned, some of us are angry. Some of us are sad. I feel just overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by all of this. What are you all feeling? Sound off in the chat. We have Kung Fu CJ says, look at these fools. Absolutely, Kung Fu CJ. Tijuana Border Jumper with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I made it on time. Everyone looks great. Nicole, you look fabulous.
Thank you so Tijuana.
Much. Yes, indeed. Dallas with the $2 super chat says, not even Tijuana Border Jumper would act this way. Okay. Wendy with the $2 super chat says, why you got to be so quick, Kung Fu? Let's go. Absolutely. Nicole, I want to get your thoughts on this next. Here's more of this carnage, of this chaos. This is clip 11. My God. So it looks like that was a mother trying to get through with her car. And I guess when she couldn't get through, she got out and they just stormed her. Nicole, this is just much of a small bit of what we've been seeing over the last several days. What are your thoughts?
I'm disheartened. If I'm being very honest, this is not the America that we want to live in, right? This is not reflective of the American spirit. However, they're playing right into the administration's hands. Right into the administration's hands. A few weeks ago, we talked about how Newsom and our own Les Moore, as we like to call them, were going to be the Democrats' dream team. Well, that dream is officially up in smoke, just like those Waymo cars. No one, not even another blue state, would trust him with their people. Where was he? Where was Mayor Bass? These aren't peaceful protests. I told you the summer of love. Here we are. Here we are, the summer of love 2.0, but they got the wrong president for this kind of foolishness. 2,000 boots on the ground, 700 Marines waiting for the call. We're not going to have this kind of foolishness. And what's going to end up happening is some people who aren't rioting are going to get swept up and caught up in this foolishness. This is absolute foolishness. It is disheartening. And all of the people who are participating in it, especially elected people, ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at this image. This is image one of a man. This has been all over the news. There he is, top of a car, waving a Mexican flag. What in the world? So these are illegals, Tyrone. Mostly they're illegals. And they're saying that they're protesting, or they claim they're protesting because ICE is deporting illegals, yet they're waving the Mexican flag.
Great, because they're giving the Democrats a lot of fodder for campaign ads as we go into the midterms. So this is how desperate. But look, historically speaking, this is what Democrats do, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, when they were told they could not keep people in bondage, they started a war. When they lost that war, they started the Klan. When it was time for blacks to get civil rights, they filibustered it. Okay, this is who they are. And they're doing a damn good job of reminding everyone. So if you want chaos, no solutions, if you want your elected officials to pay much more attention to non-citizens than citizens, then the Democrat Party is for you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the elected officials, they were down there plenty. And one of them is Maxine Waters. Take a look at this. This is clip one.
Shameful.
And the LAPD police chief, Jim McDonnell, says the level of violence he's been seeing across Los Angeles, in his word, and I'm quoting him now, is disgusting. Given that, why shouldn't the National Guard be involved?
Well, I was surprised at the way that the police chief was describing all of this. There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened. And so he doesn't know what to do, probably, because this is a sanctuary city and the police don't have the authority. All that he's got to do is work with the governor. The governor was not even called when he sent in the National Guard. The mayor was not even called. The president is initiating this purposely. He knows what he's doing. If he was, thinking, well, first of all, he started all this with the targeting, all of the migrants in the way that he's doing. And so, if we had people who were working together and cooperating, the governor would have been contacted, the mayor would have been contacted, and they would have said to the police, whatever the sanctuary city is, if we need to undo that at this time so that the police will have the authority, we can do that. But no, the president doesn't want that. He wants to use his power.
Wow. Let me put the
Before we get into this, I do want to acknowledge our super chatters. Folks, thank you all so much. Who do we have here? We have Calvin Richard with the $2 super chat says, I hear they're coming to Houston. Come get some. Absolutely. We have Jessica Zane with the $10 super chat. Says maybe this is a spare, not the rod situation. Exactly. Dallas with the $2 super chat. Thank you. Says, I'm ashamed to be Latino right now. Happy Pride Month. Yeah, that's what he asked. We have Jessica Zane with the $10 super chat. Says, for my brothers and sisters answering the call in the National Guard prayers. Absolutely. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this and what she just said?
What she just said was absolutely asinine. Number one, so violence, now she's classifying violence as only hurting someone or shooting someone. What about the cars that were fire bombs were dropped on from the bridge? How is it that these people, these ingrates, how is it that they just gather? They come together, they have gasoline, they have Molotov cocktails. They have all of these weapons, whatever you want to call them, improvised, homemade, or whatever. They have all of these weapons, and yet they are deemed to be nonviolent. This is, again, like Tyrone said, this is the Democratic Party primarily, but the left in general, trying to remake and use every ounce of violent situations that they can just for their power and political prowess. These people are terrorists, anarchists. They cause chaos, destruction all over the world, and certainly here in the United States. Maxine Waters needs to go sit her ass down before she breaks her ass in those heels that she's still trying to tip in with her alien-looking, ape-looking feet.
Yeah, well, breaking news, LAPD are now using tear gas to clear rioters from the streets after an unlawful assembly was declared. National Guard is also moving in to expand their perimeter around the ICE facility. Much better control is being maintained so far. Nicole, is this gone too far, or is this not far enough?
It's not far enough. It is not far enough. I mean, when we talk about having law and order, imagine being on the 101. You're driving home, you got your kids in the car, and somebody drops a damn firebomb on your car, a Molotov cocktail, pieces of cement. They're throwing rocks, and everyone out there is recording. Everyone is making a record of it, but no one is helping. No one is helping. That woman who jumped out of her car screaming, "I got babies in my car, I got babies in my car," and then is swept up into the crowd. Tell me, Maxine Waters, that this is not a violent protest. There's a difference between standing up for your rights and infringing your will on other people. And this is clearly what this is. This is them saying, if we can't make California Mexico, we're going to make you pay. We're going to make you pay. That is, in any other country outside of the United States, if Tyrone, Shelley, I, and KJ went to, let's say, Canada, and we set shit on fire and Molotov cocktails and threw bricks before the Mounties had a chance to come and get us, and flew the American flag proudly, we would be arrested so quickly.
Absolutely.
We would be probably be tased, tear gassed, beaten, arrested, and lost in the jail system somewhere for quite a long time. This is ridiculous. We have got to have law and order in this country. Democrats simply don't have a control over how to do that. California needs all the help it can get for the people who are living peaceful lives, who don't want any part of this, businesses being looted and all that. This is bullshit. Somebody needs to stand up to them, and I'm glad Trump is doing it.
Yeah, Tyrone, one thing the news has not been saying, these people are illegals. They're not saying that when they describe them. We have illegals tearing up our country, causing violence, injuring our law enforcement officers. And they're not talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Trump is right to call out the National Guard and the Marines. And Maxine Waters, mummified crypt keeper that she is, and Gavin Newsom, they're trying to create a narrative that Trump called out the military and then the violence started. That's a lie. Reuters reported on the 6th, the title of their article is "Riot Police Anti-ICE Protesters Square Off in Los Angeles After Raids." Dateline June 6th. Hell-bent police in riot gear turned out on Friday evening in a tense confrontation with protesters in downtown LA after a federal immigration raid. Demonstrators seen defacing federal building, hurling concrete. 6th. The White House mobilized the National Guard the day after. So Bass and Newsom had plenty of time to act. It was clear they weren't going to, just like they failed to act in the fires. This is who they are. Trump knows that, and he did the right thing. And now the military needs to go in there. And I'm just going to say, I'm not going to really elaborate because this is YouTube and this is y'all's platform. But in Tyronistan, this shit would have been ceased.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. I think this needs to come. I want to see Bull Connor type stuff. I want to see hoses. I want to see letting the pit bulls and the Dobermans.
I want the tanks to come down like Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, I want to. I don't understand why they're not hosing these people down. I mean, I saw a video of a cop. His head was bloody because they were throwing these rocks at them. They're throwing, as you mentioned, Molotov cocktails. They're looting. This is very violent. I want to see tear gas. They just brought that out today. I want to see them hosed, and I mean, turn it on so bad. I want to see the dogs. I want a hound. I want a Doberman. I want a Cane Corso. I want to see dogs on ass.
That's right.
Everywhere.
Not no bitch yappers, not no little bitch yappers. Exactly. Bring the big dogs, stomping with the big dogs. That's what we want. You're right. This is going to keep happening, right? And what they're upset about is that Trump came in so quickly. He didn't wait for like Stephanie Rawlins Blake here in Baltimore, give them space to destroy. He didn't wait for that. He didn't do that. He came in swiftly. And I read before we came on, supposedly the Marines are going to be coming in. Bring in the big boys. Bring in the big leagues. They want to kick some ass. Let's go. Again, I pray for those military people who are activated now. I pray for those police officers there, all the people who are trying to maintain rightful law and order where it has its place. But these other people, and you're right, most of these are illegals. Round them up and ship their asses wherever. I don't care where they go, but get them off of American soil today, tomorrow, very quickly. Like my aunt would say, God rest her soul, in a quick, fast fucking hurry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you have, well, before we move on, I do want to acknowledge our super chatters, folks. Thank you all so much. We see you all going off in the chat. We appreciate you, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. We have here, Bill has just joined our Freedom Seeker Club. Yes. Thank you so much, folks. This is another way to support us. Our Freedom Seekers Club, become a member. You get special perks. Becoming a member, and again, it is a great way to support the channel. So Bill, welcome aboard. All right, let me see here. Tijuana Border Jumper with the $5 super chat says, take back Baja California. Absolutely, take it back. And a Kung Fu CJ says they are calling them undocumented. Yeah, I know. This is what they do, though. They try to get a hold of the language to create some type of narrative. And so we know this. Chadwick with the $5 super chat says, shameless plug, subscribe to Soldiers of Finance channel on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous what they are doing. And again, the Democrats are continuing to lie. They are bold-faced lying, and the media is not calling them out on these lies. Take a look at this. Now, we know that Trump is using the National Guard now to support ICE raids, and this has sparked a constitutional showdown with Newsom. This is clip 4.
Your authority normally to deploy the National Guard here. Right. You did it. We were together after the fires, and those National Guard troops have been out all across Los Angeles working to rebuild and recover this city. How did you find out that the President of the United States was going to usurp your authority and deploy your National Guard here in California?
I got a call from a staffer. No heads up whatsoever. And again, we're here to support local law enforcement. There's a mutual aid process. Local law enforcement had no needs. They were out requesting any additional resources. I've got 100 now. I have 175 CHP officers, technically trained officers, tactical teams to address Donald Trump's mess. We're here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support. He made this up. This is a manufactured crisis in order to get under the tent to start to stretch credulity and to begin the process of moving inevitably towards a constitutional question and crisis around posse comitatus. And it's, I think, inevitable. That's where he's going.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his words. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls. that are trying to get educated.
Wow.
What the hell?
What? First of all, this man is a liar. He is a liar. All right, before we get into this, I want to show you all how much of a pathological liar Gavin Newsom is. This is clip 5.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
You see how you lied? First, he said he was literally on the phone. Then when she said, let me see, oh, I can't get through. This man is a liar. He is a pathological liar. He is sewage. He's the backed up kind that floods the whole block. He had a mess going on with the California wildfires, and he's got a mess going on now, and he's letting it all just chaotic play out. Shelley, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm calling him like President Trump calls him new scum and Karen ass, because together they are both idiots. They don't give a damn about America, and certainly not California and LA. They want it to burn. This is their playbook. These people, for the life of me, I don't know why Californians keep voting these people in, these same types. I don't understand it. But nevertheless, here we are again. They don't give a damn about the American citizens that live and reside in those cities, who pay the taxes, that pay the taxes for these illegals to suck up everything. They don't. They are so destructive. They are ingrates beyond. They need to go. Yes, he lied right to that woman. They need to go. That's what they do. That's what they do best.
Yeah. Nicole, so you see he's out here saying that California has sovereignty and that President Trump overstepped by calling in the National Guard and now the Marines. So what are your thoughts on that? Is he right to say that? Who's correct here?
Listen, whenever there's an attack on a federal building, if we use the Democrats' own logic, let's go back to January 6th. Anybody remember that? You remember those televised hearings with the beautiful backdrop and everybody was all dressed up? Do you remember that?
Right.
If there's an attack on the federal building, there had better be federal law enforcement boots on the ground, right? That's how this nation has always worked. The Insurrection Act of 1807 says, if you don't protect the Americans who live in your state, the federal government damn sure will. That's a part of what you get for states paying their taxes into the big United States bundle of taxes, right? Protection for your state. Even if your local and state government fail you, the federal government will step in and make sure that you're safe. I guarantee you, in the video clips that we saw, there's one woman who was in those videos who's thankful to God that the federal government stepped in. It's the woman whose children were still in the car when the mob was pulling her out down the street. You have to remember, not everybody in LA is protesting. There are people living their happy lives. Their kids are graduating. They got to go to school and live their normal life. And they cannot, because a major highway through the city is being blocked, firebombed, stuff is being thrown. They threw scooters off the overpass. All of that is happening in real time. This is not a war zone. We are not a third world country. They have third world leadership, make no mistake. Trace is right. He's greasy like a can of oil, make no mistake. But this man, absolutely derelict in his duty. Absolutely derelict. When they attacked that federal building and those federal police officers, he knew it was coming. And if he didn't, shame on him.
Tyrone, what's going on? I mean, here in Maryland, at least still, they call us Little California. But if I went outside today and started vandalizing buildings, if I started throwing rocks at cars as they pass through the highway, I'd get arrested. But here we see video after video of these people. I mean, they're literally busting out police car windows. They are looting stores and nothing. It's just like they just letting them go. Oh, you're muted, Tyrone.
This is why the Democrats cannot regain power, because this is a terrorist organization at this point. All right. They're no longer a political party. All they want is chaos. And then you've got Newsom is such a fucking idiot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, yes, the president has every right under Title 10 to call out the National Guard if it's in the defense of this nation. And we got people waving Mexican flags, setting shit on fire in California. I would call that a need to defend the nation.
Absolutely.
Second, he mentions posse comitatus. Okay, fine. That just prohibits the military from engaging in law enforcement. Says nothing about, look, you can't hide behind posse comitatus if you have a group that is here engaging in terroristic endeavors. Okay, that's not what that's for. They're not there participate. The Marines aren't going there and look, this is a heads up for the terrorists over there. The Marines are not coming there to participate in law enforcement. So this nation needs to understand something very important. The United States Marines, they're not a police force. Okay, if this keeps up, prepare yourself, because you're going to see some things reported on TV that we're not used to seeing here. But this,
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. I want to see it so bad. I want these people to get what is coming to them. They need out, and I want to see it, because I think an example needs to be made. We haven't seen examples made yet. We haven't seen it. And this is why they continue to do it, because folks, there is the idea that the police are retreating, that we constantly see this images on the TV, on YouTube, the police in retreat. It energizes and motivates these anarchists, these nuts, to continue to do this, to continue to create chaos. They are becoming more and more radical because of this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They want to act like guerrilla warfare.
I want to see them suffer, and it needs to be shown on TV.
Exactly. Tyrone is right. If the Marines come in there, this is going to be what I'm comparing to, almost like a guerrilla warfare type. The Marines are going to go after the bad guys, so to speak. They're going to use their skills and talents and operations. So that way it's going to give the police some I guess a little bit of support to go after one and do the read them their rights, whatever you Mirandize the whatever. But nevertheless, I want to see it too, because this cannot keep happening. We had Seattle, we had Chicago, we had Milwaukee, we've had California, we even had Baltimore after Freddie Gray. So I mean, this cannot keep happening. Something or someone, I hope the Marines, I want to bring the Marines, the Delta Force, all the special forces, just drop them down in cities across America to clean up the riffraff, the ingrates, and all of these terrorists, these so-called wannabe terrorists waving all these other flags. Let's go.
Now, and I see you. Let me go to the super chatters here. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you guys. CJ Parks with a $10 super chat says, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and it infuriates me seeing these thugs waving the Mexican and Palestinian flags. I'm ready for the Marines and Army to come in. Love your show. Thank you. We are too. Tina Parker, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. Thank you. All right, Bill with the $5 super chat says, much respect for your channel. Thank you, Bill. All right, Talis Howard says, I saw an interview today that they want socialism. Oh yeah, that's what they want.
That's precisely.
Jessica Zane with the $10 super chat says, okay, California, what more do you need to stop voting the way you do? Well, that's another thing. Here we have Tali Designs by Casa with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm ready for them to just succeed. I mean, to me, it's like, if you all want this, go on about your business and let your whole place burn up. I mean, really, if you guys keep voting this way and you want this destruction, you want the illegals to run through it, you want the looting and things like that, get rid of them. I'm so sick of these people. Just go away and you can go on and you can have your anarchy, you can have your socialism, you can have all of it, and let us be going about our way. And for the patriots that are still in California, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. Jessica Zane with the $10 super chat says, I think the Olympic Council should rescind the 2028 Olympiad and find another city to host. LA, California does not appear safe enough or deserving. Yep, absolutely. Yes, totally again says, we don't want Newsom. We voted to get them out. I know, I know we have patriots there. I know. Lily with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. All right. Kung Fu CJ says the army can't go in. That is an act of war. Wow. Okay. Yeah. And getting back to Gavin Newsom. All right. So I know Shelley doesn't like to get personal, but I think we need to get personal here. This man is scum. He is a liar, a huge liar. In 2005, while he was mayor, he began a scandalous relationship with his secretary. Now, that's not it, though. This woman was the wife of his best friend. So he began sleeping with his best friend's wife. This guy also allegedly pimped out his current wife for clout. Okay, he's pocket and his current wife was also, she has allegedly accused Harvey Weinstein of the R word, and he still went to him for money for his campaign. So if moral decay had a face, it would slick its hair back, flash a fake smile, and answer to Gavin Newsom. This man is pure shit. Okay, this is the type of person he is. So when he gets up in front of the camera and lies on President Trump like that, it really pisses me off. We cannot believe anything this man says, and he has a track record to prove it. All right.
Look, I hope President Trump does just like that lady in Chicago told Brandon Johnson, come on here, Tom Homan, come on here. We got a lot of illegals here. Tom Homan, President Trump, they are serious. They want these illegals out. And so does most of America. Most Americans are sick of footing the bill. However, from crime, education, health care for illegals who suck us dry, and then have the audacity to wave another country's flag and burn our flag on our soil. Right. I mean, you can't get squatters. I don't even know if squatters are that bold.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're right. And guess what, folks? This is all behind ICE doing their job. They were deporting criminal illegals. These weren't harmless immigrants. These were violent sex offenders, bangers, and repeat criminals. I have a list. Fox News confirmed this today. And I want to name these people, folks, because we need to get this out here. You have Maxine Waters, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or whatever the mayor is. They are lying and saying like President Trump is sending out ICE for just innocent people. This is the list of some of the people they arrested. Rolando Enriquez, convicted R and burglar, a national of the Philippines who has prior convictions for sexual penetration with a foreign object, assault with intent to commit R, and burglary, all in California. Another guy, Armando Ordaz, a previously deported Mexican national, a known gang member, sexual battery. Victor Mendoza Aguilar, a gang member, assault with a deadly weapon. Another guy, Lionel Sanchez Laguna, shot into homes, abused his spouse, and harmed a child. Jesus Alan Hernandez, a Mexican national, aggregated felon with prior conviction for conspiracy to transport an illegal alien. I mean, the list goes on. These are the people that ICE has been deporting. Why are Democrats protecting these criminals?
You would think, this is how stupid they are. You would think that they could find some 65-year-old grandmother that's been here for 20 years, washing dishes and keeping her nose under the radar, that got deported. You think they would be able to find somebody like that, right? And champion them. They're going to the wall for not just criminals, but for violent criminals, wife beaters, rapists, okay, gang members, traffickers. This is who the Democrat Party is actively advocating for. To hell with homeless veterans, okay? Again, I'll call them out again. Glenn Ivey here in Maryland, a so-called U.S. congressman. Down there in El Salvador, okay? Well, you would think they would say, damn, it's a cold night in Baltimore. Let me go down. Since I want to travel, let me go down there and check on all the homeless vets and children, okay, in my state. Something like that. But no, they are actively advocating for people who aren't citizens to hell with American citizens. So when people tell you who they are, believe them.
And people, I think I pray that people are finally waking up. There's a new video out today of Stephen A. Smith talking about Gavin Newsom. He says, "Why the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump? Because I got news for you. On this particular issue, he's winning. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow, some way. And the person that seems eager to bring a resolution to the table is President Donald Jaquan Trump." That's what somebody said last night. They said, because he's getting it done. He is.
He's definitely getting it done. And you know what's interesting? The swipes at Tom Homan that Gavin Newsom keeps making, come get at me, bro, and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. Tom Homan, if he had a handbag, it would be like this. Gavin, let me tell you, I'm trying to deport half your state, homie. That's going to cut. And people say, why do Democrats want to keep these people? Why do they want to keep these people? Two reasons. One, the census, right? And the census counts everybody, whether you're an American citizen or not. It counts everybody who lives in the area. And that gives you more or less, depending on your population, congressional seats, senatorial seats, more money to your area for schools, roads, hospitals, that kind of thing. So for Democrats, this is a money-making operation. And number two, they're not the ones being harmed, right? This is not happening in their communities. It's like, in the Maryland legislature, when they came up with all these rules for kids to go to public school, it's because most of the Democrat legislators' kids go to private school.
Exactly.
It doesn't affect them. It has no effect on them. So this is something that they see from a philosophy point of view, right? It doesn't really impact us except for if 1/3 of the California population is deported back to the countries that they come from, then they're going to lose power. They're going to lose money.
That's right.
They're going to lose resources. And they can't tolerate that. When blue states who are quote unquote sanctuary states, they're going to lose a lot when these people are deported. And it's supposed to be that way. American representatives should represent the American people. These other people got to go, y'all. And having this argument with Democrats prior to this weekend was a difficult conversation. All I have to do now is show them that picture of that Mexican national standing on top of that burnt up car, waving that Mexican flag, and tell them this is in Los Angeles, California. Defend your party now. Defend your party now, because there is no defense of that. There is no defense.
Right. And I want a reporter or someone in it during these interviews to ask them, what is this? How can this be? What do you have to say to this? What's your response? Speaking of responses, I want to acknowledge our super chatters, folks. You guys are great. Thank you all so much. We got to stick together, folks. Mark Slater. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
With the $20 super chat says, when Dems say protest, they know they mean riot. Rioters provided by crowds on demand. Look up the website whenever you have time. Yep, you're right. Thank you so much, Mark.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Yep. Jessica, move the Olympics to South Carolina. Yep, I would love it. I would love it. All right. Red Bucks with the $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you. Breaking news, folks. So just in, Attorney General Pam Bondi says the rock thrower in Los Angeles has been identified and is on the most wanted list. The FBI has identified him. That guy has just been identified, and they are doing a search warrant on his house as we speak. He is going to be on the most wanted list. See?
Right. That's right. Look, they paraded these people on January the 6th. Remember the guy with the horns or whatever? His face was everywhere. That's what this guy reminded me of, except he's waving a Mexican flag and burning cars and burning flags. But in 2016, I'm going to quote this famous man, two-time President Donald J. Trump, quote, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're rapists. They're bringing crime, and some, I assume, are decent or good people. So there it is. Most of those people downtown rioting are illegals, number one. Yes, that is a crime to come here illegally and remain here illegally, under the table, whatever you want to call it. That is a crime. And most of those people, ICE is coming for your ass. And if ICE don't catch you, I hope that the Marines and the National Guard, whomever, I hope they catch you too.
Folks, we just had another breaking news. Bionic face shields are now being delivered in large numbers to the rioters. So, I said earlier at the top of the show that law enforcement had just put out tear gas. Now they have footage of bionic face shields being delivered in large numbers to the rioters.
Who's delivering them?
This is being financed, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This is a paid insurrection.
Yeah. I tell you what, in Tyronistan, we got something for the bionic face shield.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We have the footage here. This is it. Look at these boxes.
Where it just feels like something's going to happen and you're waiting for it to happen. And you can look around, you see the National Guard in front of the federal building, but as far as this intersection where we're seeing all this take place, there's no local police to be seen. Yeah. And we have people handing out masks and gas masks.
Wow.
And, we just saw people graffitiing the sidewalk right in front of this truck, and we've seen people doing burnouts in the street. There's no local law enforcement around.
Let us clarify, because we've been showing a wide shot and from a different angle, a whole lot of officers on the other side of the federal building, almost behind you, and perhaps the visual is obstructed from your point of view. But I can tell you there are many, many, many LAPD cars and officers there.
That is crazy, guys.
That freeway.
This is organized. It's all organized.
Protesters can't get on that overpass like they did yesterday and throw bricks or concrete or scooters down on law enforcement that was below that had cleared the 101 freeway. So perhaps they're not where you are, but there's a lot of them already positioned there. They're not getting caught off guard by a crowd gathered here.
These are not organic protests.
Of course not. And your photographer just gave us a great shot of the box that was left behind, which showed the brand.
Oh my God. Wow. We have a super chat here. Someone said they saw it. Jessica with the $5 super chat. Yes, thank you, Jessica. She says, I saw on Cali's local ABC News people walking around passing out $30 to $40 protective masks to protesters. I wonder who could be funding this. KP from KC says Gavin said no to reparations, but him and Maxine want to fight for illegals. Right. Dems are diabolical. Exactly.
There has to be some way that they can reroute, if you will, or route who's shipping these things in and how they're getting them, whether it be through the mail, which you can make a federal charge for delivering things to terrorists, right? I mean, there are cases to be made. Wherever they're coming from, the manufacturer, however, they can trace, people with legal firearms. They can trace that in 24 hours. They certainly should be able to trace these resources coming in.
The justthenews.com was reporting earlier that an advocacy group at the center of organizing efforts for the anti-ICE protests in Los Angeles has long raised money through Act Blue. You know, that is the Democratic Party's nonprofit entity that is actually, it's under investigation. But according to the social media pages of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, the group was formed in 1986 to advance the human and civil rights of immigrants and refugees. And they are funding this anti-ICE protest, or riot is what I call it. So this is being done by communists, by Marxists. They're all part of this. I mean, this is scary. I don't know if I want to say scary stuff, but this is crazy.
It is crazy.
But we have to resist it. What they talk about resistance, we talk about resistance. We're talking about two whole different things. We have to quell this in California, in Los Angeles, before it sweeps eastward. It hits every single blue city across the United States. This is a type of fungus. This is a type of cancer here in the United States. And I'm going to tell you, I'm unwilling to give up California. It has a lot of resources that we lack here in the United States, but some of them people got to go. And listen, Shine Bomb down in Mexico, she's looking for people. I would send her so many people that she wouldn't know what to do with herself. Truckloads of people. If they had to walk like the Indians walked that last mile, they would walk their butts out of California into Mexico. I would not cede 1 inch of that state to these felons, because that's what they are. And I hope it's not enough just to arrest them, right? It's not enough to arrest them and have them bailed out by a bunch of celebrities and yahoos and wackadoodles. Let's not do that. I want to see them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Lock some people up long term, not a little slap on the wrist and 5 minutes on TV. I want to see some real meaningful teeth and ass in this situation. And I hope Pam Bondi steps up to the plate for that.
Yeah, somebody had in the comments about these supplies, if you will, are being purchased and stored for Flag Day coming up on the 14th, this coming weekend. So another weekend, of violence or peaceful protests with cars and rocks, cars burning, rocks being thrown. But this is what I want to ask out there in our audience, not necessarily in our chat. I don't necessarily know how you vote per se, but if you, let's just say Act Blue was, your average nonprofit, right? Let's just say Act Blue was, for the sake of argument, if you support Act Blue, is this what you support? Is this what you want your money to go to?
Many of them would answer yes. Many of them would say yes. Yeah. And remember also, this is an act of desperation because USAID has been interrupted. Okay. And that's usually where a lot of this funding comes from, that money laundering scheme. So I think a lot of these people know exactly what they're donating to.
Yeah, I mean, these people aren't just grassroots activists. Not only are they paid, but some of the actual Democratic brass is involved. Maxine Waters was on another recording yesterday. She was shut out of a door by ICE. She was trying to get into an ICE facility. It was actually pretty funny. And we covered it last night on Christian Conservative. And they slammed the door in her face, and then she looked all, crazy. And she said that she was trying to find out what happened to the union boss. The SEIU's president was arrested for actively obstructing a federal raid. So, I mean, and we have Democratic congressmen. There was a woman who was telling these people to continue to go on. So they're all part of this chaos. And as I said last night on Christian Conservative, folks, when you guys are out there, first of all, this is happening in urban communities. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen after all this is done and the businesses are looted, the area is vandalized, burned, all this type of stuff? Property taxes are going to, not taxes, but property not insurance. With that, yeah, property insurance is definitely going to go up. Auto insurance is going to go up. The actual area is going to go down. In property is going to go down. So, and then you have people black and brown people cry, oh, white supremacy. That's why these areas are so run down. White supremacy is racist. No, you ran it down when you let it burn down. That's why nobody wants to live here. Crime then gets involved, starts to come into the area. And then when crime goes down, the education goes down. I mean, it's all hand in hand. And when that happens, they cry.
And when that happens, that helps perpetuate their narrative, because the Democrats want you in poverty.
Right.
Okay. They want to always sell you this perpetual great getting up morning story. All right. That never happens. And continually demonize conservatives and whites. Okay. So they need people in poverty, and they manufacture poverty, like you just said.
Right. And property value. Thank you guys so much. That's what I couldn't think of. Property value. Yes, property value goes down.
Do you notice, KJ, that the people who pay for burning it down, they never pay for building it back up? It's always the American taxpayers that have to come and dish out all of these different programs and grants or whatever. And like you said, then people begging, the government. But they never, the George Soros and the Act Blues, whatever, they never build it back up.
And then they demonize you for gentrifying it. Once you come in and try to fix the fucking problem, oh, you're gentrifying now. No, I'm raising your property value.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But again, these people continue to lie and push these false narratives. Here we have another video of on CNN where actually, no, I'm not going to do that one. This is a video of a leftist professor pushing back against Trump sending the National Guard as a protester firebombs a police car while she's actually on air talking about how the National Guard is not needed. This is clip 3.
Here at the airport, I'm about to board my flight for San Salvador. The goal of this mission is to let the Trump administration, to let the government of El Salvador know that we are going to keep fighting to bring Abrego Garcia.
He said he was not able to make that happen. He said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. Trump administration is lying about Abrego Garcia.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
We could see the president potentially, again, pull the cord and say, I need to invoke the Insurrection Act. As I'm sure you've been talking about, the Insurrection Act would give the president more authority to not just federalize the National Guard, but to say that the National Guard can actually act as domestic law enforcement, that the military on U.S. soil can search, can seize, can arrest. That's not something that we're accustomed to. So I'm looking to see, obviously, what's happening right now, but also how the situation evolves and how the president reacts.
And we have seen the president allude to the fact that and we're watching, sorry, Professor, there's a split screen here on the right side of your screen. We're seeing continued demonstrations, and a firebomb was just thrown down off of the 101 freeway overpass onto one of those CHP vehicles below.
Okay, so we have a law professor fear-mongering about Trump restoring order while literally firebombs are raining down on the police cruisers in real time. I mean, if this isn't textbook case for invoking the Insurrection Act, I don't know what is. Nicole, what are your thoughts on that?
I loved her face because she knew she was had. Like, she closed her eyes like, Jesus, don't let it happen to me. Don't do this, Lord. But all of that smack you were talking, and honey, the car is fully engulfed. By the time she opens her eyes, the car is fully engulfed. They don't have a place to hide. This is the beautiful thing about where we are as a nation, with everybody having one of these, right? So everybody is a man on the street reporter. Everybody's getting these images. So the legacy media can't control the spin. They can't control the narrative. Maxine Waters, again, I don't want to keep harping on how old she is, but back in the 1700s, when she was a young girl, people didn't have this technology to be able to prove the legacy media wrong. So you can't say that this was peaceful protest when there's 1,000,001 videos across YouTube and other platforms showing people destroying property, hurting other people, setting fires, looting stores. When people can record that and show it and let people make their own decisions on watching LA burn and be looted, you can't say that it's peaceful protesting. So they fall flat. There's nowhere to hide from these images. There's nowhere to hide from these images.
Yeah. Tyrone, what are your thoughts on what just happened there?
She reminded me of the guy, Muhammad al-Said Sharif. I know no one remembers him. Baghdad Bob, also known as Comical Ali. When they came into Baghdad, and he's like, oh no, the Americans are nowhere near here. We have beat them back. And in the background, Abrams tanks with US flags flying. And so that was her Baghdad Bob moment. And she knows that. Okay. So look, again, Nicole stated it perfectly. Everybody and their mama has a 4K camera in their pocket. And not only that, the ability to upload this stuff instantly to the entire world. And there's nothing they can do about it. Okay. We're not one of these countries like, and believe me, they want to do something about that, because remember, this power is what sparked the Arab Spring, being able to share this information instantaneously. Okay. But it's a great equalizer.
Yeah.
Breaking news again. Rioters are being given earplugs, gas masks, and water bottles to throw at police. Fox LA also reporting truckloads of bionic shields, which cost, we mentioned, between like $40 to $60, are being delivered to rioters.
Look,
Shirley, what are your thoughts on that? exchange.
One thing, number one, that law professor, the left, again, they like to manipulate language and they like to create and manipulate realities. So she was not, in her world, in her leftist view, this is a peaceful protest, right? And in her leftist view, the assumption is the police are always wrong, okay? That's the assumption that they always at least start on there. So the police have to prove themselves, not the thugs and the illegals and the violent people. They don't have to do anything. They just need to show up and fight the police because the police are the bad guys. That's number one. So she, in her mind, I don't believe that firebomb moved her one bit. I really don't. I mean, she didn't know what to say, but I don't think it changed anything about her perspective. She still thinks that these are peaceful protests and Trump is, instituting martial law, or at least trying to. But what was her name? Janet, the attorney general, when they stormed into Waco. Janet Reno. The people at Waco, by and large, they had legal firearms. They had their own compound. But Janet Reno and her people stormed in there. Several people, a lot of people were killed, died that day. But the people who get fire bombs and face masks and all these other terrorist utensils on the streets of a large American city, they're supposed to be hands off. You can't touch them because they are peaceful protesters. This is bullshit.
It is.
Yeah,
You mentioned Janet Reno. Remember, Janet Reno put an M4 in Elian Gonzalez's face and sent him back.
Yeah. This feels like something else, folks. I mean, when we are seeing this type of violence, this type of destruction, and they're being open about providing these people with all of these tools to continue the destruction, and they are very well backed up with money. I mean, these people are funded very well, folks. I have my other channel, Christian Conservative, and we got to go to the biblical. We got to go to this is more than what we are seeing right here. The radical left isn't just incompetent. This is something else. They are intentionally sowing division, confusion, and collapse, because order must be destroyed before control can be imposed. Their ultimate goal aligns with the biblical warning of a one world government under the spirit of the Antichrist. And everything that we have played, all of these fighting, all of this destruction is the spirit of the Antichrist, folks. We got to be on guard. We got to continue to pray and call this destruction out for what it is. I talk about this on my show at KJ Christian Conservative. We talk about all this stuff from a biblical perspective. Definitely check us out and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But again, facilitating open borders, lawlessness, moral depravity, economic collapse. This is something else. And we as Christians know that something is coming. We are in a spiritual warfare. And we got to call it out for what it is. And we got to continue to keep calling it out and standing up, because this is more than just Democrats playing, something. Something's going on here. I don't like it. I think this is going to be a long summer. I'm going to get to our super chats here. Thank you so much. Mark Slater with the $10 super chat says, I'm going to shut up after this. Newsom just destroyed his 2028 presidential run.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Agreed, my brother.
I hope so, but who knows? The L Factor with the $10 super chat says, Obama deported more people than Trump, but he didn't get any outrage because he's a Democrat. Yeah. I said this today. Yeah. Kung Fu CJ, Matthew 24:25. Please read these 2 chapters. Absolutely, folks. We got to stay in our Bibles. Mark Slater says, "Where's George Soros? Oh, he's somewhere. He's out there dishing out the money.
He's already wrote the checks. He's already written the checks.
Yep. Mark Slater says, I can't say this enough. It's time to shut down companies like Crowds on Demand. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Sherry Hampton with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah. She says, keep up the good test.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Yes. Love your program. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Yeah. We got to continue to talk about this, folks. And this is what we do on programs like ours. We are on the Metro Conservative Media Network here. So we have other shows tomorrow. You can catch what is it? The All American Talk Show. That's going to be tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. They're going to bring you the latest as to what's going on with these anti-ICE riots and more. You got to check them out at 6:30 tomorrow. And Shelly's going to be on tomorrow. Shelly is going to be on there. So folks, go on over there, hit that subscribe button so you get alerted when she's on. She'll be on there tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. All right. And then Thursday, I'm back on at KJ Christian Conservative. I'm going to be breaking it all down from a biblical perspective. I think that is so important that we look at all of this through a spiritual lens. So you can check me out at KJ Christian Conservative. And then on Saturday, we have Just the Guys podcast. That is at Just the Guys podcast. You can get it all from a male perspective. Tyrone is on with them right there on at Just the Guys. He's one of the guys. So definitely go over and check them out. It's at Just the Guys podcast. So folks, we got it all covered for you, all coming from a conservative perspective to combat the left. And speaking of them, this is Sonny Holston slamming President Trump about sending the National Guard. This is clip 7.
He is militarizing and deploying the Guard for the purpose of policing Americans' protest activity, right? Our freedom of speech, our freedom of assembly. And there's a very big, stark demarcation between military troops and law enforcement, public law enforcement, civilian law enforcement. Right. And you are an army turned inside to police its citizens can cause chaos, fascism. And so I think that's the way, and civil war. Yeah. I think that's the way we need to look at it, because deploying the National Guard is supposed to be a last resort. But what this president is doing is that he's saying he's going to deploy them anywhere in this country where there is protest. So that is certainly not a last resort use of military troops. And one thing that I'll finally say is that there was some really important recent congressional testimony in December, and it was from retired Major General Randy Manner. And he said members of the military are not trained in civilian law enforcement because it's not a military function. So military involvement in mass deportation efforts would undermine the public trust in our veterans, in our armed forces. So it is escalating this situation.
And we need to. Wow. So are they trained in handling animals? Because that's what they are. That's what these rioters are. They're animals. They're apes. They belong in cages. So we need the military. Shelly, what is I want to know from Shelly, I'm sorry, from what's her name? Sonny's perspective, what does it look like when you need the military? If this isn't it, what is it?
Sonny is full of shit. That's what she is. It's full of shit. They wanted to get worse. They wanted to get worse in their eyes, if you will, to the level where they are literally, where this is a war. I mean, outright war. The military may not be trained in civilian law, but the Delta Force and the Marines and all the special forces, sure enough, are trained in guerrilla warfare. They know how to go in and search for the what's his name, Bin Laden's, and like you said, all the Soleimanis or whatever. They know how to go in and search for them and do what they need to do and get the hell out. They do that very well. So they know how to, and this is what they want, guerrilla warfare. That's what they're going to bring in. I hope they do go in and clean houses, like they say in the old days. Clean house to house, block to block. They know how to do that too very well in the military. Take a certain quarter and, carton it off, bring in the resources, call in the air power, all of the different skills and special casualties and get the hell out, get the bad guys out. Sonny, again, the former federal fuck up is still fucking up.
Yeah. I mean, Nicole, even Senator John Fetterman is saying this is gone too far. He just tweeted an hour ago, I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstrations, and immigration. But this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. That is a Democrat. Senator John Fetterman said it's enough.
Well, it is enough. I mean, anybody with eyes. And again, this is the beauty of where we are technology-wise here in the United States. Because if this was 10 years ago, the legacy media could have spun this story that, you know, it was a peaceful protest and Trump with this overreach. But again, it's hard to say that when there are millions of images showing you something different. And that whole routine that they did in 2016, don't believe your lying eyes, honey, that doesn't work anymore. Because now everybody got lying eyes. Everybody's looking at what it really and truly is. Trump calling in the military has very little to do with what Sonny is trying to say, like he's going to be policing private people. They're coming in to protect federal assets. He said this very clearly. The federal government has to continue to work, even in Los Angeles. So when they attacked that federal courthouse, that was a whole problem. When Gavin Newsom and LAPD did nothing to defend the federal officers, did nothing to defend that federal courthouse, the federal government has no other recourse but to defend its assets. We do that all over the world. You walk up to a U.S. consulate somewhere and try to knock something over and see what happens to you. They'll bash your damn head in. We don't play when it comes to our stuff. We really, really don't. And that doesn't mean just away from abroad. It also means here. Think about it. Way back when they bombed the federal building, I think it was in Kansas City.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah. When he bombed the building, people were saying, oh, domestic terrorism. Why did they call in the FBI and all these other groups? Well, because you know what? Federal assets are our assets. And Sonny knows that. She's playing word games like Democrats play all the time. But John Fetterman has it right. They just made these midterms a bloodbath for Democrats around this nation.
Well, and like you said, Nicole, they're bringing them in, baby. They are bringing them in. Look at this video. They're not playing. They're not playing. Right now, this is the National Guard.
They arrest them. So
look at them.
Get them right here. We're going to go head over that way. You see, it appears to be California National Guard. Ooh, they're taking someone down.
Put him down.
They saw. Yeah, I don't know
Body
who those guys are or what they did.
Yep.
You can see that appears to be
I want to see more of this.
If it says ERO on their back, that would be ICE. That stands for Enforcement and Removal Operation. I can't tell. It's some sort of law enforcement, and they clearly
let them get him. Get him.
They clearly did not like what the guy in the yellow was doing right there because they ran right at him and they took him down. So we'll ask him. We'll see if we can find out what that guy did. It looked like he was loitering near a vehicle. Oh, it looks like a firework just got thrown in. So that's more of what you're seeing multiple fireworks coming into that frame there, Trace, and that's what we were just dealing with about 30 minutes ago while we were live on Hannity. We had fireworks being thrown in our direction, in LAPD's direction.
Crazy.
So this crowd is definitely getting a little bit more feisty tonight, Trace. And you mentioned it right off the top. That's exactly what happens out here when the sun starts going down with these LA. I think these might actually be feds based off some of the patches I'm seeing.
I want to see zero tolerance. I want to see zero tolerance.
Police HSI. So that's Homeland Security.
Would you say, Nicole?
So they tore his mask off his face.
And that's
I wonder if their parents are watching, you know, wherever they may be from. I wonder if you saw your child on these streets doing stuff like this. I just wonder what their parents are thinking, their families.
I'm going to text a few.
Some of their families are probably cheering for them. Again, you know, for them, this is La Raza. This is how we do it, right? This is standing up for our people. And California has always been Mexican. Let them tell it from their point of view. But what they don't understand is this has very little to do with legal citizenship in this nation. This is every person's worst nightmare. We've been invaded. We're trying to get the people who invaded us out. But there are people allegedly on our side who are defending the people who've invaded us. Yeah. It boils down to us versus them. And that is exactly what Democrats want. They think it's going to be a great political ploy. But again, I'll tell you now, these citizens with these camera phones are changing that narrative. They are changing the narrative.
We got some supers here.
Yes, we do, folks. Thank you so much. All right, let's see what we have here. All right. We have Mark Slater with the $10 super chat. Says, Shelly, don't yell at me tomorrow if I check in. That's right. Shelly is going to be on the All American Talk Show tomorrow at 6:30. You don't want to miss her on there. She thinks she's fired up now. Earlier, she's even more fired up. So we're later into the evening. She's kind of, on her way down. 6:30, you're going to see rare form. All right. Sherry Hampton with the $10 super chat says, keep up the good work. Love your program.
Thank you,
Sherry. All right. Tyrone Davis with the $5 super chat says, just saying hello and showing my appreciation for you guys and everyone here in the chat tonight. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Wow, Meg with the $50 super chat. Oh, I wish I had a horn or a bell. Thank you so much. Says, I truly love your program. I don't have any specific religion, but I am a spiritual person. However, we are definitely in an arena of light versus dark right now. You can feel it. Thank you for your fantastic assessment on so many things. Thank you so much, Meg.
Meg, that's very nice.
Yes. Brown Eyes, the $5 super chat. Thank you, sis. I'm in LA. It also has a domino effect. This causes delays and emergencies in other services, like getting to hospitals and other rescue access.
It does. That's a good point, Brown Eyes.
Yeah. Val with the $10 super chat. Thank you. All right. Jessica Zane with a $10 super chat says, National Guard got the action. Let's go. Right. Let's go. Chadwick with the $5 super chat says, just spoke to my brother and sister in Santa Monica. They said all that stuff is not happening around us. Okay. Well, that's good.
Okay.
Jessica Zane with the $20 super chat.
Thank you, Jessica.
Semper Paratus. Semper Paratus. Okay.
It's the Coast Guard motto. Thank you, Jessica.
All right. Chris Jones with a $10 super chat says, I wonder how many folks in California would stay if the U.S. gave California to Mexico. I know. I'm ready to give them up. I'm ready.
I ain't giving them a damn thing.
I don't think Mexico wants it.
No.
I want to answer Gimpy in the chat. I know he's trying to be funny. He asked, was I advocating for bombing Americans? I said no. I'm advocating for the military and bombing terrorists. If they are terrorists on our soil, whatever their nationality, if they're terrorists, I'm advocating for them to be cleaned out.
And let me say this about Sonny. First of all, I never hesitate to remind folk that Sonny's family owned slaves. So I love to put that out there. And she's talking about, we don't need to mobilize the military. Well, when you have people waving a foreign flag and committing violence in your country, I can't think of a better organization to involve than the military.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and no, we don't want them involved in law enforcement. We want them involved in just what we saw a few minutes ago, kicking asses. Okay. And that's what they're there for. All right. So, let the chips fall where they may. We cannot have this type of foolishness in this country.
And let me just say this, folks, we're in a fight for our country.
Yes,
we're in a fight for our country. They are trying to take over. They are coming in, vandalizing, causing destruction, causing violence. They are raping, as Tyrone said. They are assaulting, killing. They are doing all this stuff, and all while they raise their flags of their own countries. We are at war, okay? And so, that's what we're saying. We want to see the National Guard and the police come out, because guess what? The media is not talking about how most of these people are illegals, and the ones that are so-called citizens are Marxists, Okay. They want to cause a breakdown in our system, in our institutions, in our country. This is what they want to do, and we have to stop them. So bring in the National Guard. Let loose the hounds. And guess what? Because I see somebody in the chat, a troll. Let them be. I don't care if they're black, yellow, brown, white. I don't care what color they are. If they are here to destroy, if they are here to start chaos on our soil, I want them hemmed up, locked up, put down. Okay? That's it. So I have no cut cards with the color of their skin or their ethnicity. I really don't. So, yeah, you can call me whatever you want, Tether, Uncle Tom, whatever. But in the end of the day, I'm an American. I'm a child of God. I'm not for all this chaos. All this is not of God. It's not of this, all this chaos, destruction. That is not the spirit of God, and it needs to be stopped. As simple as that. All right. So we got a country to save, folks, and we thank you all so much for your super chats. It really does go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Mark Slater with the $10 super chat says someone mentioned Delta Force going in. What's the SOF?
Soldiers of Finance.
Oh, Soldiers of Finance can confirm if they did. We never know. Things would get really quiet and real quick in about an hour, and we'd be on to another topic.
Yeah.
Soldiers of Finance. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's true, and maybe, who knows, if that were done, one of the only way we would know, as Mark said, is that things would get quiet quickly. But we're used to foreign engagements, but we have a problem inside this country right now, and we need to use our resources to address it. Okay, if we're going to live in a peaceful society, okay, and all of these disturbances and endangering women with children, and you drop some concrete from a bridge that can easily kill somebody. Okay, these are terrorists. Okay, now 99.9% of Americans are just trying to go about their daily business, go to work, make $1, spend some time with family, maybe go on a cruise every now and then. Okay, this is not what we're about. So these elements that want to come over here and do this, they need to be handled harshly. And if they come on the news tomorrow and say, oh, well, so-and-so was deleted because the Marines did something to him. Look, if the left thinks that they're going to build up sympathy in that way, oh, they are dead wrong. What they're going to build up is confirmation that, okay, things are being controlled. All right. And we're getting back to normal, and we're sending a message. So if they're trying to drive it that way, it's not going to work out like they think it will.
Yeah, I hope not. I really do. I hope not. Because folks, I mean, the media is actually an enemy of the state right now. You have the media out here. CNN's Abby Phillip is literally on air right now saying there's no invasion or rebellion. I mean, what do you think this is when you have people who are out there raising the flag of other countries while destroying ours? What do you think this is? Here she is here. I can't stand this girl. I really can't. Take a look here.
Invasion or a rebellion. Neither of those things are happening right now. But that's not what the statute says. An invasion or rebellion. That's not what the statute says. So invasion or a rebellion. Neither of those things are happening right now. But that's not what the statute.
Yeah. She's talking about what President Trump, I believe, is talking about their insurrections. This is clip 8. Take a look.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA? Are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
Mr. President, will you invoke the Insurrection Act?
It's like you queued him up, Priscilla. That word he used, they're insurrectionists. That I can't imagine that was an accident. because it seems as though that is the place that the White House is trying to get. And for the president, it's icing on the cake that he can do it in the state of California, because on a whole host of issues, he has had California, Gavin Newsom in particular, in his sights. The question he was asked was about Newsom daring Tom Homan to come and arrest Newsom. And the president responded, I would do it. And then he said, Gavin wants the publicity.
This is a very serious word that's being thrown around now, insurrection. That's a rebellion of the states or people in the states against the federal government. That is not something to be trifled with. If, for example, to your point, the president were to invoke the Insurrection Act, I think we would have yet another legal morass. It would be another instance of the way that the White House is trying to declare emergencies or insurrections in order to unlock vast powers which most presidents don't have access to. More broadly, the immigration issue, that is the track that we're going down with this administration.
It has been the track. Sorry, real quick, Vanya. I would say the Alien Enemies Act, which was the sweeping wartime authority that they use, it's only been used 3 times in major conflicts.
Wow.
Who's the British guy?
These are the same people that would call for the last 4 years, all they talked about was
insurrection. I mean, they basically, immortalized that word insurrection. Now all of a sudden, this is
we had a
mini-series about insurrection.
Right?
They mini-series about insurrection. Give me a break.
They own it. Right?
With these people,
they own the word insurrection. Let them tell it. Look, it's CNN. Okay. Clown ass news network. All right, they got the British guy. We threw your ass out of here in 1776. Get real, okay? What are y'all even talking about? Again, these are people that are straight up ministry of truth. They are there to propagandize and to inflame, not to inform. And their ratings show it. Americans are by and large rejecting CNN as well as MSNBC. They know, the jig is up. They know what they're all about. And I'm with you on Abby Phillips. Where the hell did she even come from? Okay. But she fits in because she's just as smug and uninformed as the rest of them.
And do you see how they're trying to make this about Trump and Gavin Newsom? That they're trying to make it as if like all of these anarchists are not destroying the city and not terrorizing police. None of that is happening. This is, Trump and Gavin Newsom. He has it out. His sights are set on Gavin Newsom. Oh, they will make up anything to fit whatever narrative. And then unfortunately you have these people down in LA, downtown LA, terrorizing it. And this is the kind of stuff that they believe. You can't with these people. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, Nicole, this is actual propaganda.
It's even worse than that. One of the things that I was actually kind of proud of happening here locally in DC. They had ICE raids in DC. They're still having ICE raids in DC. We haven't lost one building. There's not been any fire bombs. There haven't been any, bricks thrown or tossed or any of that kind of thing. You know what's happened? This city has been cleaned up. There is no more BLM Plaza. Now you can make a right turn, right? And it's not cordoned off. The homeless encampments all over the city have been cleaned up. It is remarkable what can happen if you buy into the vision of a greater America and do your part. Now, granted, DC don't get no money until Congress releases it. So they're playing because, a little carrot and stick situation here. But imagine, if you will, if the government of California said, you know what, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to let ICE come in and take these criminal, illegal aliens off of our hands. We don't want them in our communities. We're going to stand firm on legal immigration. One of the things that they could do is help people get through that process a lot faster, so it doesn't take 6 years, 8 years, 10 years to get through that. No, instead, they'd rather double down on dumbass and burn their own cities to the ground rather than take the lesson from DC. Take the lesson. It makes no sense except for political grandstanding. This is Gavin Newsom saying, I am a national figure. And he really, truly thought that this would buy him sympathy with the American people. How wrong have they been? Yes, they have overplayed their hands.
Yeah. And you have Abby Phillips talking about, this is not an invasion. This is not is insurrection. These rioters aren't just protesting, they're physically attacking ICE offices and federal agents. The textbook insurrection by the left's own January 6th definition.
By their definition.
I believe it.
Girl, you give me $1 million check, I tell her, look.
Right, yeah.
I go on CNN and tell her. I'll sit right next to Malik, right? And all about it.
They have some riots going on in Texas now too. So,
I saw somebody
protest.
Right. Well, this is it's going to spread, folks, and we just got to we'll probably be talking about this all week as it goes on. If President Trump and the National Guard, and if they don't really come in with an iron fist, they're going to continue to go on with this. They're going to continue on. And this is why I have been saying for the last several days, they need to make an example out of these people. Turn on the hose. I want to see tanks. Let the dogs loose. Okay? I want to see the biggest dogs they can find and let them just run through Los Angeles, okay? And get these people out of here. This is what needs to be done. They got to get some behinds bitten and just let it loose. This is what they got to do. And I bet you they won't do, and I think it will at least slow them down. Otherwise, we'll continue to see this city after city for the remainder of the summer. This is what it is.
Summer of love. I said it earlier. Summer of love. We have to squash this rebellion. And if we don't, they'll try to burn cities and it'll be the people who can't afford it the most will lose the most vulnerable part of our population. You have Black Democrats out here stomping and cheering for these folks when there are Black people who are displaced in their jobs and their homes. People talk about a housing shortage. Of course, there's a housing shortage. We've got millions of illegal people buying houses. I still don't understand how that happens. I still don't, for the life of me, understand how illegal people are buying houses in the United States of America. Whatever bank that is needs to have its ass beat. I'm just going to say that. They ought to be locked up from the president on down to whoever stapled the paperwork together. It is absolutely outrageous what's happening in this country, and we've got to get our country back. And the only way to do that, if diplomacy doesn't work, you know how the United States does it. If we can't talk to you, we will spank that ass. Make no mistake.
Absolutely. All right. Did I get all of the super chats?
We got a few more.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh yes, Josh Winston with a $10 super chat. Says, I got in late tonight, but Tyrone, we need to have Pop and Politics Maryland Man t-shirts for us, real Maryland men.
Right, yes. Agreed.
All right. Chadwick with a $5 super chat says, Delta would cut all TV and cell phone signals at the same time. 1 hour later, they would come back on and you would see no one in the streets at all.
What we used to call a blanket party.
Yes, indeed. All right, folks. That's all of the super chats for tonight, folks. Thank you all so much. Again, this goes a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Any amount is appreciated, but we really we thank you so much. All right. So say that again.
I said absolutely.
Oh yes, indeed. All right, folks, that does it all for us tonight. We will be back again, as we mentioned. Shelly will be back tomorrow on the All American Talk Show. So, folks, as you guys leave tonight, go over to the All American Talk Show and hit that subscribe button. It's already, I think the broadcast for tomorrow at 6:45 is actually already posted. So you can like that and maybe hit the notification bell so you know when she's on the All American Talk Show tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, we got another super chat there. All right, D. Surrey, thank you so much. Says you're all amazing. Thank you for keeping it real and saying what we're all thinking and feeling. With the $20 super chat, thank you. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yep, that's what we're here for. Absolutely. All right.
Here he go. Here he go.
Mark Slater with the $50 super chat.
Thank you,
my
Mark.
goodness.
Thank you, Mark.
Challenge.
Thank you.
Remember that?
Don't go to an auction. Don't go to an auction with Mark.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mark. He puts down a challenge, folks. So is there anyone out there that's going to beat Mark with this $50 super chat? He's put down the challenge. He's laid down the gauntlet. Do we have anyone that is going to do bigger than Mark Slater? Wow. Thank you so much, Mark. Come on now, as Ali says, who will challenge Mark? Wow. This is nice. Thank you so much,
Mark. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Let me see here. And yep. So again, we have tomorrow is with and we will be back on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We will be back live in the studio. Jessica says too rich for my blood. That's right. We will be here Wednesday live in the studio. And then, as I mentioned, Thursday, it's me with at KJ Christian Conservative. Check me out on at KJ Christian Conservative. Wow, Wendy.
Come on,
yes,
Wendy.
With the $49.99 super chat, says Mark. Yes.
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu. No, good night. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. You guys, we are really building community here. We really are. I mean, it helps to talk this through, like all this crazy stuff going on. It helps you guys, talking in the chat, us, talking about all of this, calling out the left. This is what it's all about.
Thank you,
Mark.
Right.
Oh,
we got Mark. Oh my
God. Showing off. Come on here, Mark.
Mark with $100 super chat says what?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, King Mark, you got it. You got it.
This will be ready for you this week, Mark.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Thank you so much. Mark is still the king. Mark is the king, folks. Just all like we said, Daddy's home with Trump. Mark is Pop Daddy. He's Pop Daddy. Politics Daddy. Is he not?
Wait a minute. Give him something better than that. Okay. That's too
close to Puff Daddy, right?
Pop Politics King.
There you go.
All right. Yes, indeed. Again, more breaking news. National Guard and DHS are now in the streets of Los Angeles assisting LAPD.
Let's go.
Multiple arrests are being made on live TV. So they are let loose, folks. Looks like they are being let loose. And this is what we wanted to see. They are not playing around.
Yeah.
They are slamming bodies and taking them off the streets.
Good.
So, yeah. Woo. CNN cameras stunned by effective crowd control tactics used by law enforcement in Los Angeles.
I think that, we can have Aaron Cohen's take on that. But we're going to take a quick break. You can see there is movement both in We're not going to take a break. There's a man, you can see him. He's been detained there, Aaron. There's something they want with these people, and they want to control this situation before it gets out of hand.
Trace, these aren't protests. These are precision-guided destabilization operations, in my opinion. I'm coming at this from the intelligence and counterterrorism lens. And the goal here is to collapse law enforcement's credibility, delegitimize the federal authority, and radicalize the next wave of violence. And they want this chaos in the streets. Pam Bondi's onto it. The FBI director's onto it. The DHS director's onto it.
Yeah, we've got some action here, Aaron. Apologize. Oof. I want to go back to Bill Malugin. He's live there. Tommy Chu is his photographer. Bill, what are you seeing? Because we're seeing a lot.
Yep. I want to see a face on the cement. Press it in.
And when they get into that federal holding cell and their buddies abandon them, okay, then there's going to be a lot of regret this evening.
Right. And it's still going on. I know we got to go, but just one last thing. It's now they're getting violent. Reports are saying they're getting violent in Dallas and Austin now. They're getting very violent in those areas as well. We got one more super chat here. Tijuana border jumper
yay.
Says looks like a beached whale.
Yes,
yep.
It did.
That's what she did look like. Yes, indeed.
That was a lot of belly on that asphalt. There was a lot of belly.
All right. So again, we will see you guys on Wednesday. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night.
What's up, guys? This is Giovanni, co-founder of Metro Conservative Media. We are the definitive home for the urban conservative. You think you got what it takes? Go to metroconservativemedia.com and click join the movement now.